Okay, so now that we've created this block assembly, um, now I'm going to introduce you to a the presentation file in Autodesk Inventor. So let's go ahead and create a new file. And this time we're going to scroll all the way down to, we're in the metric folder, and we're going to scroll all the way down to the presentation files. And we're going to use the standard millimeter presentation file. Notice the extension .ipn, I for inventor, PN for presentation. Okay. Okay. So now notice the ribbon here. Really only one choice to choose from. So we want to create a view. We left click on create view, and here's where you would choose the assembly that you want. And so because I have block assembly open, it already has it highlighted, but just let's get practice in finding the assembly that you want. Um, so make sure that you look for your block assembly that you've created, and the, and then we'll go ahead and select our assembly. Okay, and so this would be the file that is ready to to import. And the explosion method we're going to put on manual because we're going to manually create an exploded view. Click OK. So it places our our block assembly into Autodesk into the excuse me, the presentation window. Okay, and you can move this around, like you do any individual parts. If I push down on the mouse wheel, I can grab it and I can move it around. I can zoom in and out my view cube. I will go back and let's reset this. This view is the top view, which again, it's going to make this automatically the front. So make sure we're consistent. Okay. All right. All right. So now the thing that we want to do is we want to actually create an exploded view. So what we do in an exploded view is where you show how all the parts um, go together. So what we'll do is go up here to tweak opponents, left clicked, and we have this menu here. And so by default, this the Z direction should be selected. And if you look down here at your compass, Z is basically going to be pulling parts, up and down. And you can make sure that this should already be selected. But what we'll do is we'll hover our mouse over our post here, and this is where it gets kind of tricky, right? In order to, let me get this out of the way. In order to grab your part, you have to left click and hold it down. And now I should be able to move it in the Z direction. So it's moving. I'm pulling it right out of the part here. So let me get some room to move here. And I can go back. Oops. In order to move my part, I have to hold down the left click button and move it. And notice this blue line. This is called a trail. Okay. And so I have that option on for display trails because I want to show the direction or where this came from. Okay, so I think I'm going to move this up just a little bit more. Okay, mm. Then I'm going to go down here and grab the top block. Oops, oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I need to go ahead and select uh, clear. Okay. So now, once I select clear, I'm prompted to where I can go select a new part now. So I left click, hold this part down, and I drag in the Z direction. Okay. All right. So now, and I'll select clear. And so now you can see the trail that let me move this up. You can see the trail that the post had to travel in order to get to where it currently is, and you can see the trail that the top block had to travel in order to get to where it currently is. And I'll go ahead and close this window out. Right? So one of the things that's cool about presentation mode is the animate feature. So if we go into animate, um, right now by default the intervals are set at 25, but let's just see what this looks like when we animate it. So let's click play, and play will assemble your part back together. Okay? And if I click play in reverse, it takes them back to the position where I dragged them. Okay? Now here's where it will play and then forward and backwards all in one click. So it'll assemble them and then it'll go back in reverse. All right. And so let's get out of this feature and let's save this. So let's save, and um, I'm going to create another folder called presentation. And because this is a different file type, I can name this block assembly also, because you notice the file extension is .ipm, IPN. So, all right. And this menu will come up saying, do you want to save the presentation and the dependents, which is these part files in here? Yes. Okay. And so that is their introduction to presentation mode or presentation file and how to tweak the components and animate them.